Hello, welcome to the Scotch Art Show. This week's guest is Robbie Hail, who is an actor, theatre maker, producer, musician, music producer, kind of does it all. And we speak about all these different jobs and titles and how we got into all them. We also speak about having a really stable job and when it comes to the time to go full time with your creative practice, and how to kind of make the jump. We speak about people's reactions to that, how to keep your faith in yourself when other people think you might be a bit mental for doing it. He's also from Western Bartonshire, so it's fantastic to speak to somebody else in the creative industries from pretty close proximity to where I'm from. Yeah, go and follow Robbie. He's got two fringe shows on in August. He's just dropped an album. He's also got like a lot of other stuff going on. I'll link it all down below, but he's a very, very busy man and it was fantastic to speak to him and hear that he's doing really well. So yeah, enjoy the episode.
Yeah, yeah, all good.
Well, after like
Things have been quite good. Just been pretty busy with stuff recently. Mostly with rehearsals for the two shows that I'm doing at the moment. I've got a rehearsal later on today, and I had one yesterday for a good couple of hours as well. So and I've got one on Wednesday. So just every like maybe second day, we're just kind of making our way through rehearsals. But it's been fun. That's took up most of my time, to be honest, in the last like at least 3 weeks anyways. It's kind of once it became like around mid-June, it kind of started ramping up a little bit.
Yeah. So what are well, first of all, that sounds like a shit ton of stuff and like very physical and, you know, in a very like digital age where like you can kind of get away with like, or I can get away with like a lot of days just doing emails, to have to like be somewhere and like, that's to me even sounds like such a, I'm immediately like, I'm not doing that, no. So what are the shows that you're in?
So I'm doing two shows. I'm doing one that I've written myself called Don't Know, Have a Go. And I'm doing another show called We Have a Dream, and there's a cast of 5 in that. Both very different shows. The one that's my own show is quite a kind of surreal show. It's based on a quiz show called Don't Know, Have a Go. And it's all about a contestant coming onto the show and not realizing how he's wound up on the show, and he's kind of forced to answer questions about himself to try and make his way through to the tunnel of mystery, which is like the main prize for the evening. And then the other show is called We Have a Dream, is based about these 4 boys who go over to the Euros in Germany just to like go and support Scotland. But it's more about like their kind of relationships of how they are as friends, how they've kind of maybe distanced over the years, and what is kind of in store for them as life is moving forward.
Yeah.
So very different show.
Yeah, they're very, very different shows, and to be doing them at the same time is like, is that like you have to swap between things a lot, like in your head?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah, it's okay. Like once you're in like the room with people, it doesn't feel like much of a switch. But yeah, definitely when I'm like home myself and I'm looking over lines and stuff like that, it definitely feels a bit more like that.
Yeah, because definitely when I'm painting, I can, if I was painting 2 different things at once, I would see them start to bleed together in some parts.
Yeah.
If they had anything in common, they would kind of just become like the kind of one thing, to the point where like I can tell what I painted at the same time, like years later, and I'm like, oh, I must have been doing these at the same time because they have this weird little thing in common, or
Oh,
it's like,
that's cool.
yeah, or it's like I'm just not like, I don't take very good care of my brushes or anything, so I'm like, oh, there's that fucked up brush.
Some paint from this one has made it over to this one as well.
Yeah, or like you clean your brushes in tarps, and then the tarps is like, it kind of separates the oil from the pigment of the oil paint. But I don't change my tarps as much as I should, just because I think it gives it a nice nuance, but also it's I just can't be fucked, and because you've got to scrub it, and I'm not doing all that. But yeah, I can tell what I painted because there's a slight kind of like weird tone to them both. I'm like, oh, I was like really lazy this week, and I must have painted these both in this week. So it'd be interesting to see if you can, like, if they do have any kind of commonalities, I suppose, if you look at it and you're like, oh, I had the same haircut and both these are probably around the same time or something.
Probably, yeah. The 2 characters I'm playing, or the 3 characters maybe I'm playing, are all quite different from each other, but there probably is bits that kind of bleed from one to the other just with performance, which is also maybe like, yeah, you don't really want that happening too much, I suppose, if I bring, because I do play like a quiz show host, and bringing that into like the other show, I'm like, oh, that probably just
Yeah,
that would not fit whatsoever.
yeah,
But yeah, I think just naturally you will like you bring a piece of yourself to everything, don't you? So it's
yeah.
probably something to do.
Yeah, totally. It's funny as well when you look back like years later, you can kind of see like I don't know, like maybe what you were going through or what you were trying to be at that point. Like, oh, I kind of thought I was all this and that, and then you kind of look back and you're like, oh no, that's like a teenage girl, trying to be like, I'm an adult, and then
Yeah,
it shines through. But like at the time, but I mean, that's the thing, you can't really get away from the truth in that way. Like it will come out, whatever you're hiding will come out in your work, whether you like it or not. So you're better
yeah.
to kind of try and deal with it, so it's doesn't show your arse years later.
What kind of stuff do you paint? What do you normally like gravitate towards?
Just now I'm painting. I'm actually painting a lot at home just now. I've
Uh,
got a show in August, and yeah, for like painting about the Vale and Dumbarton and that. And it's kind of about like dreams and memories and stuff, and like how like when I remember something, you remember something, it'll be totally different. But that neither of them is necessarily the truth and that kind of thing. So I've given myself quite a lot of license in that way. But also because I couldn't go back and draw them from life because a lot of the stuff is like knocked down or not there, or it's I had a perception of something being really tall because I was like 5 when I seen it. So like stuff like that. So
cool.
yeah, just now it's kind of more, I don't know. It's not really a scene. I don't really know what it is, man. It's a pure mess. Come and see the show,
Is,
but it is a fucking car crash.
is it like people and places that you normally like paint? If you're saying like memories and things like that.
Yeah, it's more kind of places. I do occasionally do people, but I try and fuck them up somehow so that they're not like I'm not putting anyone's business in the streets kind of thing. So I like move the face, or like I was saying to another artist, Laurie McNally, who'll be on in a few episodes time, that whenever I paint a face, I always just paint it as my face because I feel bad like
Okay.
putting someone on blast kind of thing. But also when you're learning how to draw, you draw your own face so much that it just becomes kind of muscle memory, that if you were to draw an eye, you would just end up drawing your eye just out of because you've drawn it so much. It's the one kind of closest to hand kind of thing. So yeah, kind of like I painted this big scary nun that I used to have nightmares about, and I kind of gave her my face, and then I painted this evil pig, and I like again gave him my face, um, and yeah, people sometimes point it out. Sometimes people are like they don't know it at all. Other people are like, "Here, that mad evil cannibal pig kind of looks like you a bit," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure, it's my face." But yeah, yeah, I don't know. It's funny how you can it becomes kind of auto cartographical or however you call it. Yeah. So how did you get into it? Did you have like a did you have drama in school or that?
I didn't actually know there was no drama in my school. When I was younger, maybe around 6 or no, a bit later than that, maybe like 7 or 8. My mum put me into a drama class. I think I
Hmm.
must have just had like an energy somewhere that she was like, you'd maybe fit in doing stuff like that. Um, I did that for a couple of years up in Clydebank, one of the churches that was up there. Actually, two separate places. But I did that for a couple of years, and then when I went into high school, I kind of just abandoned that. I was probably like, it wasn't very cool to be doing
Yeah.
stuff like that, so I just completely like stopped doing that. And then I was in a band for a good couple of years, which kind of just naturally kind of fizzled out just due to life, I suppose. But did that for a good couple of years. When I was in like third year, we started. So I started doing, like shows here and there. One of the places we went to frequently was Cheers in Dumbarton.
Hey.
We gigged there quite a lot, but just mostly that kind of thing, like small pubs around that kind of local area. Um, but through that, I like my friend Stuart McIntyre. His mum was a part of the Dumbarton People's Theatre. So then I decided to kind of go and try and get involved in some way. The main thing that sparked all of this, though, was I used to work for BA Systems. I used to work as a pipe fitter and a welder.
Hmm.
And when I was there, I absolutely hated it. I was like, I can't be doing this for the rest of my life. But when I was doing that, I went on holiday at one point, and when I was on holiday, I went and seen a theatre show of Mamma Mia. I
Hey.
came out, I came out of. I don't even know if it was the fact it was like Mamma Mia. It could have been any show. I think at that time, and I was just like, oh, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do like stage performance of some degree. And then when I came back from that, I started signing up for any kind of like acting classes that I could. I went to some really small classes. I went to one over in Helensburgh. Can't remember what the company was called, but it was like they were like adult acting classes, and there was like two people. It was like me and somebody else, and they got us to do like a lot of like improv stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'd never really done any of it, I was just like I felt so embarrassed to do it, and there was just a lot of embarrassment that came with doing it. Obviously, like as time went on, it that disappeared. But yeah, when I first started, it was over in like Helensburgh, and then I naturally went into doing stuff with the Dumbarton People's Theatre, and that kind of like did that for a couple of years, and then I decided I would kind of make the jump from leaving my job and trying to do it as a career of some description,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been for the past couple of years.
Yeah. It's a funny thing. Like I've kind of done that as well, where I had like a lot of jobs in admin and that, and then or like bartending for a long time. And yeah, I also hated them, but it was also like, is it worse to do the thing that you hate and have like a consistent income, or is it better to do a thing that you love and just feel mega stressed like all the time? But and it is the jump. But now I look back on the jump and I'm like, that was the most natural, easiest decision in the world. But at the time, it's terrifying. Like it's mental talking to other people in the arts. Um, because it's something I feel like everybody has some kind of relationship with, and it sometimes does feel like you're like the people around you might act as if you're leaving like the real world for this kind of world of delusion, but then at the same time maybe be like, oh no, but I really believe in you and I think you can do it and whatever, and you're kind of like, well, this is very mixed signals now. But it's, I don't know, everybody has a relationship with like going full time kind of thing. It's
Massively, yeah.
yeah.
I when I was leaving my job in the shipyards and I was telling people that what I was going to do, it was very mixed. Some people were like, "Oh, that's cool, like go and do it," but there was a lot of people that were just like, "Why would you go and do that?" They were like, "That's such a silly decision to go and do,"
Yeah.
uh, which is funny because like at the time as well, I was like, "Oh, that's like it is my decision, obviously," and I felt I didn't want that to like hurt my confidence for like what I was wanting to do. But just now as well to make like money because like acting gigs like come and go I suppose. But I also do tour guiding, and on my tour when I introduced myself, I always mentioned that I was like a welder.
Hmm.
And a guy came up to me and he was like, "You were a welder," and he's like, "You left it to do performance." He was like, "Why?" He was like, "There's so much money in welding." I was like, "Oh, I wasn't very happy doing it." And he was like, "It's not about being happy." I was like, "What on earth, man?" I was like, "Brother, you're on this tour. Why on earth are you coming at me?"
Yeah.
It was
I'm performing now. Do you know that?
yeah. I was like, "Listen, you wouldn't be here on this tour with me if I hadn't left." Not that means anything, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was like it is ingrained in a lot of people to just be like, I don't know, like it's not really about being happy, I
Yeah,
suppose.
and it's
You
also
know,
like ingrained in a lot of people. Like I don't know anybody who's like, if they were like, I don't know, left like being a nurse to be a teacher or be a social worker, no one's going like, oh, that's a really good pension you're giving up or something like that. It's they're kind of going, oh, this is a respectable field and would never say anything. But the minute you're in the arts, it's people really do feel like they have a license to be like, what a fucking stupid decision, like you're such a fucking tube for doing this and you're throwing away this and that, and what about your security and all this kind of thing, and you kind of go, first of all, who the fuck are you? You know, like who are you talking to? But I don't know, I'm like, there's not really a lot of security in general just now. Like people are losing teaching jobs and like, you know, there's, so I'm like, you might as well, if there was ever a time to do it, it's, you know, it's, well, I mean, do it because it's in your lifetime, but also the world's falling apart and no one's really making too much money and no one's got a lot of job security, so you might as well be fucking happy. But um it's also, I suppose, you get an insight into how other people live their life. They're like, he's like, it's not about being happy, and you're like, so what is the plan then? Just fucking suffer and then retire? Like that's hellish.
it's really tough because I mean, like even trying to do this path, it is scary and it is hard, and opportunities come and go. You know, sometimes there's a couple that snowball into something, and then all of a sudden there's just nothing, and it can be months before anything like comes. You know, and because yeah, I mean, even I do performance, but like I'm trying to move into doing like more music production. That's something that when I've had a lot of, I mean, it's something I've always wanted to do as well, like create music. But I've, I don't know if this is true, but I maybe have made slightly more money from music production than I have performance, just from like opportunities that have came in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's entirely true, but like it's probably not too far off, to be honest. And it's obviously not something that I when I was like studying, it wasn't something that I initially set out to do. Still very cool and grateful to be able to do things like that, but it's just like I don't know, you kind of are trying to pull from anywhere the opportunities are coming.
Yeah, totally. I
It's,
think there's definitely always like trends as well. Like wherever the funding is, there's a trend in that. So it might be like, I don't know. Like I'm trying to think like there's definitely times where I run like loads of different classes, and depending on what's kind of trendy that month or whatever, like life drawing will be more, or printing will be more, or crits will be more, or whatever. And it's you just kind of go, okay, well, I'm very open to happy accidents essentially, and kind of go whatever you want, that's fine, I can do it.
actually, yeah. It's so strange. Oh, and this is because like I don't know if we've actually met in person, but one of the reasons that we kind of know each other very briefly was through the Clifftop project.
Yes, yeah.
Because like I mean, it was something that I never ended because it was like during COVID and stuff, and I wasn't really because I was also just about to move up to Edinburgh, so I was like, oh, I actually can't really commit to this at all.
Hmm.
But it's still going. It's like you do that just now, don't you?
Yeah, I'm on the board for there. Yeah, but were we both on? Was it the youth advisory board we were both on, or was it
Yeah, I
something else?
think
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so. Yeah, I mean, it's such a. Yeah, I was there for like a couple of weeks, I think, more than anything, and I was like, oh, I actually can't commit to this. But it's cool to see that, like, because that was 5 years ago, maybe
Hmm.
something like that.
Something like that, yeah, because I think you had to be 25 and I was like just 25. I think Lottie had said to me, like, you could be on this for 6 months before you like age out of it. But yeah, well, I've not been based in Dumbarton pretty much since I left, really. I think I went back to, um, went back to the Vale for like COVID essentially, but because I just graduated. But yeah, I don't think you have to be based there. I think you can still give insight to someone who grew up there. That is, I mean, that's just my opinion. That's not gospel. But I mean, I don't live there. But I think it's wild to see. I don't know if you feel like this as well. It's wild to see like it's a strange feeling to see arts opportunities that are free and they're community based and whatever where you grew up, and then I don't know, it's a weird feeling of like I'm really happy this exists but I'm sad that it didn't used to, kind of thing.
Yeah,
Do you ever feel, or like, I don't know if that's, maybe it's
yeah,
because I'm so close to it, I kind of see the kind of inner workings of it, and I'm like, this is going to be really, really helpful, and it's a shame that this didn't exist before. Um, and I do kind of think about like when people are when like that guy is saying like, oh no, who cares about being happy? I'm like, is this because um any thought of you being in the creative industries has been so shoved down that you've been told like this isn't for you or whatever? Do you know what I mean? Like maybe that's why he's like, no, it's not about being happy, because maybe the subtext of that is, well, if it was, I'd be a musician, or I'd be, a writer, or I'd be a sculptor, or like whatever.
yeah. Probably like a suppressed part or something like that.
Hmm.
It's yeah, everyone's got their own baggage with what it is, I suppose. But I'm also like just thinking about because when growing up in Bon Hill, I don't know if there was. This is the thing. I don't really remember many like creative things happening around that time. Maybe it's just that I wasn't like exposed to them. But
Hmm.
it's cool that like something like the Clifftop project is doing something and trying to make because is it more arts classes like painting and arts and crafts rather than like performance and I don't know film things like that. Is that what it more
Yeah,
specializes?
they have a kind of mix of everything. So, Lottie is a dancer by trade. I'm sure. I think she's potentially from a family of dancers, or her mum's a dancer. Her husband is like a filmmaker, so they do a lot of filmy stuff. I don't know how to what extent the participants are like involved in it, but I think they have done that before. And there's definitely a lot of dance and performance stuff. There's definitely a lot of colouring in that, but I think that's just because that's kind of, I'm saying colouring in, it's like drawing and whatever, but I think that's because it's shorthand to children. Like they kind of it's very familiar kind of action for them because obviously schooling and that. But I think there is like a lot of performance. They just had, I should actually know this, but I've forgotten everything and I'll put it in the description. But they just had like a lot of like theatre companies around doing, what is it? It's like Harry's Haggis or something like that, and it's like a theatre company. They come and they work a lot with the kids, and I think they build the story together. And they have like all these costumes, and it's very like sensory friendly as well. I think that's the kind of the big. It's not called Harry's Haggis, but it's something like that. That's really terrible, and I should know that. But
Should be one called Haggis.
yeah, well, maybe this is how it is born. But yeah, so they do performance and stuff, but I think it is mostly kind of, well, not really mostly. I would say it's maybe like 60-40, but it's also just depends on what the funding's there for and that kind of thing as well, which is it's kind of a bit why I'm doing this, because like a lot of visual artists don't get funding, which means they don't get visibility and that kind of thing. A lot of artists or creatives in general, like everyone's fighting over the same things. I run like some databases as well, which is the same idea really, of like how do you get visibility when basically when it's so expensive and when it's basically a full-time job, like making canvas all the time, or like doing, do you know what I mean, like making your own promotional material all the time becomes like such a big part that I'm like, if we just like cut this out or like had a shortcut for it, it would kind of level the playing field between people who can like afford to maybe have somebody who does all that for them and everybody who can't. But yeah, do it. But yeah, they have a kind of mix of drama and dance and performance and that kind of thing as well. And I don't think that you have to be, they're kind of Scotland wide open calls. Like I don't think you have to be based in Western Bartonshire at all. Which I think they're kind of trying to mix it up a bit, but like in general, because loads of, I mean, I don't know, I'm going to just keep blabbing about it from going through like all my fucking meeting notes in my head, but yeah. No, yeah, we did, so have you been on like any other, like anything else like that, like the youth advisory board since?
No, I think that was probably the first thing that I would have tried to have done. But yeah, I couldn't, just because I was going into uni at the time. I just felt as if maybe I couldn't give like my time and effort into doing it.
Yes, we know. Yeah.
And I'm actually slightly too old to be on youth advisory boards. So I'm 29 now. I mean, that's
Yeah.
probably not true. I talk to people, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've not done anything like that since though.
Yeah, fair. What is it you did at uni? Did you go back to uni? Like for,
Yeah.
or did you go for welding, or did you go back for something else?
Oh, so like I originally went to college through my apprenticeship to do like pipe fitting and welding, and then I left and I went to college to do acting and performance, and then I went to uni to do stage and screen acting.
Oh, nice. So where was that? Because my last school I went to City of Glasgow College and
Yeah, I
did.
went there as well.
Did you? What
Yeah,
year
that's where I
was
went. 2019 to 2021 because it was during COVID.
that? Right. Okay. Yeah, I was a wee bit away by then, but I love City of Glasgow College, and it was a big. Were you in the big pink building?
Yeah, the new one, the new building, not the one that says like people make Glasgow.
Oh, I was in that one.
God, that looks like a grave site now.
Yeah, no, it does. Yeah. And it was wild from inside because see, from when you're drawing, the big rules are like have natural light, and it was like pink over the windows, so you kind of couldn't have natural light. And it was just like all these wee dots. Like you could see outside, like it was fairly transparent, but it was not natural light. And I always remember thinking like, sure, this isn't ideal, but oh well. And then I went to Reed Care after that, which I think has a different name now, but to do art again, and I think they have like a drama and like kind of performance part there as well. I don't know. I'm always, whenever anyone's Read Care, I'm like, yes, because I feel like they only had like 10 people go there, you know?
Full building, 10 people.
Yeah. It was empty, to be fair. It was like a pure ghost site. There's nobody ever there.
Yeah, I do like City of Glasgow was fantastic. I really liked I don't know when the new building opened up or how new it actually is, but the one that's there obviously now, great building, lovely. But yeah, I was there for 2 years and then I came up to uni up in Edinburgh Napier, and I was there for 2 years as well. Yeah, 21 to 23, I think it was.
Wow.
So yeah,
How did
that's
you find that? Was it what you were expecting, or was it, were you like, oh my God, this is, because when I went to art school in Edinburgh, I thought we were going to be painting and drawing all day. I had no idea the kind of structure around art school, and like it was this thing that everybody knew. Like you get, I don't know if you've heard of crits, but they're like, you basically put up your work and people would rip you for an hour, and I was like, what?
oh
you
no,
know?
man. No. Yeah, I don't know. It was a lot of like self-led stuff. I think I probably didn't expect it to be as self-led as it was. Um, but I wouldn't change any of my time there because I've met like some of the people that I'm still doing stuff with now. I met in City of Glasgow. Not City of Glasgow, Edinburgh Napier. But one of the best things about it as well is just like how the year that I was in as well was how driven a lot of people were to doing it. There didn't feel as if there was like much drama, as in like between
Like
people
gossip. Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
I know of, anyways. So it was quite nice. Everyone just like was there to like try and get better, do the work, and yeah, just try and get out to the other side. To be honest, without
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. And you're just like still pally with them now.
yeah, a lot. But there's a couple of us that started like a production company afterwards called Fast Snail Productions, and that's kind of under the banner of who we're taking the shows with. So there's 3 shows that we're taking to Fringe this year. 2 of them I'm in, and then the other one is from my pal Will Evans. He's taking his own show.
Hmm. So
It's
how,
pretty
like,
sure.
this might be like such a stupid question. How do you set up a production company? Because I have known nothing about this at all. I'm like, this is it's another reason why I like started to do this is because I was like, I know a lot about art, but I don't know anything really about anything else in the creative industries. And I feel like if we all knew more about each other, it would be potentially easier. Or I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like we are a production company, but like I don't know how like official we are. It's not as if we're not registered as a company. As far as I know, we're not registered as a company.
But the tax,
Um,
it's fine.
I was like, is that good to say? I don't know, because like, well, the thing is,
Cut
like,
it out.
all the stuff that we're doing for the Fringe is like funded by like. So I'm taking my show, I'm funding my show. Will's doing his, and then Jordan and our pal Dylan as well. They're taking that show, so it's all coming from us. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, the main thing is just having like an online presence. I think being able to like be like, hey, okay, we're gonna be a production company or whatever. We set up like an Instagram, all the social medias, and then just anything that we're trying to do, promote it through that.
Mhm.
So there probably is more steps that I'm not able to tell because we've probably not done them. But yeah, for the past 2 years, I think we've been trying to do stuff. The reason that we originally did it because we came together was because we were going to do a 48-hour film festival. We were doing our friend Jordan had like wanted to do the 48 hour, so he set it up as Fast Nail Productions, and then there was 8 of us that went to like do the filming, so as actors, and then we worked behind the set as well, and just from there we made the film, and then it was shown or whatever, and we posted about it, and then we were like, well, we should maybe just like try and continue to do stuff, because that group of people felt as if they wanted to continue to do stuff after like uni had finished, and it's kind of been like that since, which has been quite nice. And now it's just kind of formed into theatre shows, other short films. We've filmed like monologues for people as well. I'm trying to think of other things we're doing. That's probably like roughly what we're doing. Mostly it's centering around like theatre at the moment.
Mhm.
But yeah, just trying to get yourself out there and just being like, we make stuff. Oh, but yeah, scratch nights is the other thing. We've got 10
Mhm.
minutes left, apparently.
It's okay.
Uh,
It's okay.
but yeah, the other thing is like we'll put on like scratch nights. So like people will submit new writing. We will then get directors and actors, and we will hire a venue out, and then we'll put that on for a night. So we've done that
That's
just for the sake of it.
fantastic,
And we've done
Robbie. These are
yeah,
really switched on.
well, we're trying to be, I suppose, if we can. But yeah, yeah, it's a lot. But the last one that we did was like a PowerPoint night that we did, which was really fun. We basically just there was 6 people that we were like, just create a PowerPoint that you're going to present, and it can be
Mhm.
about anything you want. So we did that, and that was more of a fundraiser for the fringe shows that we've got going on. So yeah, just doing things like that. And there's quite a lot of like theatre companies up in Edinburgh that are doing things similar to that, just to make money for their shows, because
Mhm.
it's hard without funding.
Mhm.
It's without it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and it's well because it becomes an overhead, but then it becomes also like a main thing. So you're like, this is another thing I have to fucking pay for. But that's such a good shout to like all just let's all concentrate all our shit through this one funnel, and then we have like maybe a better chance of it being seen. That's such a good shout. Is that like quite common, or did you just like invent it? I know
Oh, I
that's
did not.
a while.
No way. I think like there is a couple of like companies that do it up here. That the like they'll have a writer, or they'll have a couple of different writers that will create like a new play or something like that, or a short film, and then they just like put it on through whatever the production company is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what we've been doing for the past couple of years. But it is quite a good way. So it means that you're under the banner of a production company rather than just being like, oh, I'm myself and I'm trying to promote this. Even though that is kind of what you are doing. Like with my show, like I'm the producer for my show as well. So I'm doing all the emails and doing all that stuff. But even just being under the banner of Fast Nails does help, I suppose. It maybe like makes it appear slightly more professional in a
Mm-hmm.
way. But I mean, it is because there is other people that are behind the scenes if need be.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild how you're like me and one of the people who was on Ahmad Dini, who was in the first episode, we were saying about how we refer to anything that we're even doing by ourselves as like, oh, like we'll get back to you. As in it's like you and the entity that you've like created, but we were talking about like it does make it sound like there's a team, but it's just like you were in like a different hat, and we're like talking about like it's not even necessarily meant to be like deceptive. It's just, oh yeah, but like email Katie, will get back to you, but like right now Katie does not have the brain for that. And how it does, like, people, I don't know, assume that there's like a team behind everything, and you're like, how could there ever be? Do you know what I mean? Like that would be about 50 folk that I'm paying, you know.
Pleasure, man. Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Especially, well, it's probably worldwide, but in Scotland, you definitely end up wearing lots of different hats just naturally when you're trying to like create work of some kind, whether it be
Mm-hmm.
theatre or art or just whatever. Because you do become like the producer for it. But you were saying earlier on about just promoting your work, because I've definitely, especially recently, because I've produced like my own album, but like I don't have anyone to like be like, oh, you do the social media for it. It's just me. So
Yeah.
just having to create all of the kind of Canva stuff for it and start posting it out in like reels or
Mm-hmm.
pictures or whatever.
Yeah. But all the
Yeah. So
music stuff looks amazing. Like all your videos and all that with like all the red and like they look fucking cracking. Like, is that what you did you do that like by yourself as
oh,
well?
no, like so it's the pictures that I've got for like my show was by Josie Young, who's a part of Scottish Youth Theatre.
Right.
Shout out
Uh-huh.
Josie, lovely
Shout
woman.
out, yeah. Come on the
She's
youth.
great. What's that?
I said come on the youths, but like we're
Come on, yes,
aging
yeah.
out of youth, you know. But no, they look fantastic. So what was the when you're saying about like you got into drama really young, left it for ages, went back to it, decided you actually wanted to do it. Where did the music come into it?
I mean, I don't know. When I was in school, like I mentioned that I was in a band.
Mhm.
But it was probably about like it was in third year or something.
Mhm.
Um, and we started off like maybe just doing like covers here and there, and then we tried to write our own music, and we kind of did. Like uh, w- we took it serious enough to a point, where we would play. Like some shows we would play, and it would just be like our own original stuff. But it was, I mean, more than anything, it was just like getting together as a four and just jamming music. That was the main thing. Because we did that, especially like coming out of COVID, because we hadn't done it in so long. We were like, let's just go to the studio and like whatever. So I've got like some recordings from on my voice memos that are like an hour and a half long, and it's just like us playing music for that long, which is like that was the whole point of doing it. So we did that for, yeah, like we gigged as well for a while, and then that kind of life got in the way. People
Yeah.
went and did their own things. I moved up here, um, but yeah, I don't know. I've always wanted to. That's the thing up here. I don't really know that many musicians or play music with anyone else, but I
Mhm.
still always wanted to play music in some way. So that's why I started getting into like producing. I originally downloaded or bought Pro Tools, but Pro Tools is, I mean, some people do use it. I mean, many people use it. It's the kind of standards for the industry, but it's just so, it's not just complicated, but it's also expensive. I mean, it can go up to like £300 per year. And I was like, I'm not even getting paid to do this. There's no way that I'm going to be able to pay another £300 just for this. But I bought Logic Pro, which was £200, and you get it forever. And
Oh,
it's the
nice.
best, one of the best purchases I've ever made, because I've made all my music through that since. And anything that I'm doing, like voiceover stuff for my theatre shows or anything, I can just do it through that. And it comes with so much stuff that you can, so many sounds and different instruments that you can put through like a MIDI keyboard. It's just so much stuff, which is great. So yeah, for over the past like two, maybe a year and a half or something like that, I've started just trying to produce music anyways. But I originally started doing it because me and the Fast Nails people made like a pilot episode for like a TV show. My friend Jordan has written like a couple of episodes that he wants to eventually like produce. So he messaged all of us and he was like, "Would you guys be able to take like 4 days on holiday? And for those 4 days, we will just record this. We'll just film it all. We'll get the stuff together." So we did like with the I can't remember how many. I think there was like there was 8 of us at least for the Fast Nails people. We all took it off. We recorded it. Um, Jordan and my pal Laura edited it together. And I did the music for it because he asked if I would. Actually, I don't know if he did ask, but I was like, I'll do the music for it. I would love to be like produce the music for it. And he was like, yeah, that's cool. So the 3 of us used to just sit together, and if they were like, oh, we need a piece of music, like an interlude piece of music, I would just sit on my laptop and I would just try and make something there and then we would just export it in. And then through doing that, because I was in the headspace of just making lots of like small snippets. There was a couple of them that never really got used, and from those snippets I ended up like building them up and made them into my own album.
Oh,
So I just ended up releasing my own stuff for it, which is coming out next week, which is exciting.
oh my god.
So that's
Amazing.
the
I'll try and like get this forward then so it comes out around the same time for
oh that's it's just whenever obviously, but yeah, that's exciting. So I'm at the moment as well as doing my shows, I'm trying to do like the promo for that, even if it's just like making little videos just to be like, it's out, please go and listen to it.
Mhm.
So yeah, just yeah, even things like this will be hopefully good to
Totally, yeah.
if you
And
that cool.
what is your album called?
Burning Midnight Oil.
Nice. And it's red. You look for the red one. Is it
Oh
red?
no,
It's not red, but
this
something
one.
else. Sorry.
No, this one's it's just like a picture of it's a blurry picture of me lighting a match in the
Oh
darkness.
yeah, no, I have seen that. Robbie, you got too much going on. I'm getting them all mixed up.
Oh, don't worry.
But the episode sounds so fun as well. So is that something you just did for fun, or is that like coming out, or is it just kind of in
It will be.
limbo?
It will be. It's maybe sitting a wee bit in limbo at the moment. It was for a long time just because other things were kind of getting in the way. But my Jordan and Laura, they finished the editing for it, and then my pal Jordan and Will were doing a show called Note of Concern where they toured a little bit around Scotland, and on one of the tour dates they showed some I never ended up going to, unfortunately, but they ended up showing a piece of the flat, that's what it's called, um to like an audience, which was cool. So that was like showing a little bit of it, but I think they actually want to do like a proper night where we'll hire out a room somewhere and we'll
Yeah,
get like a big screen and we'll actually get people along to watch it.
that sounds cool.
That's the plan.
That sounds
That'll be
great.
after Fringe anyways, whenever we end up doing that.
Yeah, honestly, any kind of telly where people have Scottish accents, I'm really there for it. Um, I feel like I was just like, I'm trying to take days off, and this is very new for me, so I don't really know what to do on days off now. But I was like thinking about like, what's my mum do? Okay, she sits and watches telly, so I would put the telly on, and I was just, I don't know, I was just like, oh my god, I totally forgot there's Scottish people on the telly now. Like I was just like, oh my, what? So anything I'm very kind of pilled by it, and like I don't know, I feel like an old lady. Like we were watching Still Game, like my boyfriend's in the Highlands, and I'm cool. Thank you for oh shit, I'm not on the fucking camera. Thank you for waiting for me. I'm not paying for Zoom.
No, no, you should.
So yeah, we were talking about seeing the Scottish people on the telly and like Scottish accents as well. And I was saying
Oh,
whenever we watch Still Game, I'm like, we've been there, I live near that. Or like whenever I take him home, we're like going round. What's that? It's like Old Lomongate or whatever, like the new roundabout where River City was filmed.
oh, right, yeah,
Yeah, or
absolutely.
like we live like my mum lives quite close to like the garage where they go on like the first where they go out to like Bath for the day or whatever. And I'm like,
Oh,
we've
yeah.
been past that, you know, doing all that. So that's so exciting to be making. I think it's like kind of like a like definitely in visual art, it's like a kind of a radical act to be making work about your home that's not, or just even Scotland that's not like super shortbread tinny, and it's just like this is just life here. This is how people speak. This is how people act. This is the kind of little microcultures, which is kind of why I'm making work about home. Um, just in like the little bits of slang, like in one of the other episodes. You can let me if you know this. You don't need to admit it publicly, but we were talking about slang from home because he's from Dundee, and he was saying like all like they call like chappy, they call it chickenelly, which I'd never heard of in my life. Um,
Ellie.
Chickenelli, like as in chicken, like the animal, and then ELI after it. I'd never heard of that in my life. Um, But he was like, yeah, there'll be like words from all different places, and I was saying like at home we call like the flint of a lighter a gazinti because when you're building a joint it goes into it.
I guess in.
You can absolutely plead innocence, but I've already admitted it on the internet.
What part?
Like
What
the
part is
flint.
called gazinti?
So like the bit that you go like this to, you can take
Oh,
it out and it would poke in.
It's like the podgery-do. That's what I would call it. Maybe podgery-do.
Oh
That's
my
what I would call
God.
that.
That must be like new Bon Hill slang or something, you know?
Maybe, I don't know. It's just nonsense. But yeah.
Yeah, the dictionary according to the BYT.
Oh man, literally, yeah.